Denis Villeneuve's Dune is officially getting a sequel, as Legendary Entertainment announced the news in social media posts on Tuesday, ensuring that the spice will continue to flow on the big screen. Alongside this, we got news on a release date and announcements surrounding members of the crew who are going to return for Part 2 of this new adaptation based on Frank Herbert's seminal novel. In this video, I'm going to be discussing all of this news and giving my own thoughts towards it, along with what we can expect for the highly anticipated Dune Part 2. If you want to keep up to date on any of my content surrounding the Dune universe, then don't forget to support this video by giving it a like rating, subscribing to the channel, and turning on your notifications. Also, feel free to check me out on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, and Instagram at Cortex Videos, which is all linked in the description below. But without further ado, let's dive into the confirmation news for Dune Part 2. So, following the announcement that Denis Villeneuve will get to make a second part to his currently hyped film Dune, Warner Brothers have been confirmed to distribute the film and help finance it, though Legendary is the primary money behind the movie and owns the film rights to the book series. What comes as another piece of good news is that the film is expected to have an exclusive theatrical run, and Legendary will likely make that point clear after Dune debuted simultaneously in theatres and on HBO Max last week. This unorthodox distribution pattern was a pandemic-era concession by Warner Brothers, but one that caused an uproar when it was unveiled in 2020. So Dune Part 2 will hit theatres during its initial run, and this will help to maximise the box office potential and hopefully build the numbers up from the first film. And another piece of news confirms that the film will release in theatres on October the 20th, 2023. So in about 2 years from now, we will be getting a continuation of the story, and with Villeneuve currently working on the script with Eric Roth and Jon Spaihts, it gives them plenty of time to focus on the production and make this second part as good as it can be. The first part of the science fiction epic, which opened last week in the US, earned $41 million in ticket sales in its first weekend. That result was the best film opening of the year for Warner Brothers, and a sign of fans' desire to not only stream Dune, but see it on the big screen. The film has also performed really well overseas, earning nearly $225 million globally. Its domestic opening results were roughly in line with what Warner Brothers expected the film to generate when it was greenlit, which is notable because that was long before COVID-19 affected the media landscape. A return to Arrakis was always part of the plan, and director Denis Villeneuve has been adamant in interviews that his adaptation of Frank Herbert's novel would have 2 parts. In fact, the film's opening title sequence rather boldly states Dune Part 1, and the next part will hopefully have a better landscape to go into, with an exclusive theatrical run and the building of hype that has come from this first film. Dune Part 1 of course ends with Timothée Chalamet's Paul Atreides, a messianic figure at the heart of the series, seeking shelter from enemies in the desert. And Dune Part 2 will follow his efforts to exact revenge against the noble families who murdered his father, Duke Leto Atreides, and restore himself to power. Warner Media leadership also hinted at a Part 2 in an interview with Variety on Thursday, with executive Ann Sarnoff saying that the greenlight would be based on the entirety of what Dune can do for the company, including HBO Max. The story in itself sets up for a sequel. The production is so amazing and the storytelling is so compelling that it's not going to be judged on box office alone, said Sarnoff in that same interview. And the two companies and Villeneuve had nothing but nice things to say when they officially announced another installment yesterday. Legendary stated, "We would not have gotten to this point without the extraordinary vision of Denis and the amazing work of his talented crew, the writers, our stellar cast, our partners at Warner Brothers, and of course the fans. Here's to more Dune." Now, while casting for the film's second part has not yet been announced, many members of the ensemble, such as Timothée Chalamet, have said they are ready to come back for more. Not to mention that we may have got a slight tease towards the casting of Eric Roth, with Barry Keoghan teasing something soon after the announcement, but of course we can't put all of our money on that just yet. But it is interesting to keep in mind, considering that the actor has been rumoured to play Fade in this new Dune universe, and the timing of his post and context of it does get us thinking that maybe that's the case. We'll have to see, but I'm sure there will be many casting announcements in the near future, with positions for the Emperor and Princess Irulan still to be filled. But alongside casting, it was also confirmed that composer Hans Zimmer and cinematographer Greig Fraser would be returning for a part 2, which is only more good news. This now clarifies why Zimmer isn't scoring Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer, as he is committed to finishing the music for the vision that he began with Dune Part 1. But don't worry, I'm sure we'll see that partnership come back after both of these films in 2023. And as for Denis Villeneuve, not only has he directed his biggest box office hit to date, but he's also getting to adapt the novel his way. It was a dream of mine to adapt Frank Herbert's Dune, and I have the fans, the cast, the crew, Legendary and Warner Brothers to thank for supporting this dream, the director said. This is only the beginning. Villeneuve has of course accomplished something many thought was impossible. Directors struggled for decades to bring Herbert's novels to the screen, and when David Lynch finally did manage to adapt the sprawling book, the result was 1984's Dune, a catastrophe and a picture that the filmmaker would later disavow himself. Of course it has a cult following, and I personally like elements to it, but this Dune is a commercial success, and from the reaction it's garnered, it may also have legs in awards season, with some voters already arguing that it has Oscars potential. So overall, this is great news for Denis Villeneuve, his team and us Dune fans. We've been calling for a part 2, and all the success and signs have led that into fruition. I honestly cannot wait to see what the director, his team and cast do with this second part, and the odd casting rumour that I spoke of before just gets me even more excited to see how Denis tackles the elements and characters that we are yet to see brought to the screen. I wonder how characters like Eric Roth, the Emperor and Princess Irulan will be introduced, alongside how sequences from the second part of the book will be adapted. The Water of Life scene is one that I can't wait to see brought to life, and knowing how Denis has adapted Paul's visions in the first film, it only builds my fascination towards how moments like that will be brought to the screen too. It's going to be interesting, but the second half of the novel has the potential to be adapted in a way that is even more epic and thought-provoking than the first part, and after absolutely loving the film, part 2 cannot come soon enough. But that was my video discussing the announcement of a Dune Part 2. Like I said, I'm sure we will get more announcements in the months that follow the release of Part 1, and with Denis and his team beginning production in the middle of next year, Dune Part 2 will soon be arriving, and us fans will definitely contribute to its theatrical performance. And don't forget that Denis wants to make this into a potential trilogy with Dune Messiah, so this really is only the beginning. But let me know down below in the comment section what your thoughts are towards the greenlighting of Dune Part 2, alongside how you would like to see certain elements adapted from the second half of Herbert's novel. I will also be doing a video on potential aspects of Dune Part 2 in the coming weeks, so keep a lookout for whenever I post. For much more videos and news on Denis Villeneuve's Dune universe, then subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like rating and follow me on social media via the links in the description. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been Cortex, and as always, make some noise.